May profits be upon you. We're going to look at the indices and we're going to look at U.S. oil, gold, and silver. And we're going to start with the S&P. All right. Starting with the weekly chart here. Listen, you see how price makes these candles here. All right. We have down candles, up candles that trade through the swing high, traded through it, closed above it, then closed above it again, closed above it again. That created an area of fair value. It created an order block, a big old order block. That's what it is. All right. And should price come back down into this area, you see that orange line there. I hate it when this thing does that. I'm pretty sure there's a good chance that price will continue up higher from there. All right. But we have a bullish weekly fair value gap here. All right. And when price opens, it'll open here. And there's a good chance it'll sting down into that bullish fair value gap and continue higher to these all-time highs. All right. To another all-time high past that high. Let's look at the daily. On the daily, take a closer look, and you can see the fair value gap here, and you can see how price is stabbing into it, right? We haven't closed past the consummate encroachment, the 50% of the order block, because when price closes past that 50%, there's a good chance that this is going to fail. The bullish fair value gap will fail. All right. You see that the top of the swing high goes through the fair value gap, so that makes this it makes it pretty strong, right? I look for that those two things to overlap, but because if you look in the previous video that I just posted earlier in the weekly Forex forecast, I did analysis of the US dollar index, and you'll know that I'm thinking that the US dollar is going to be pretty strong next week. So if it's going to be strong, then that would make for a weak indices. All right. So I'm carefully watching this area here where it touches off at the consummate encroachment. That's why I got that eye here. Okay. But right now I am bullish until I see price coming towards that low. When I see price closing below the midpoint of the fair value gap, like I just said, then you know it's time to reassess, and there's going to be a good chance that this fair value gap will fail, and that price will probably be headed to the next swing low, which is over here. Okay. We're going to go take a closer look at things on the 4-hour, because you can get a better look, get an idea where price might be headed. You see where we make the peak, the swing high, the all-time high, right? And come into this fair value gap here. This fair value gap is a 4-hour fair value gap, all right? If we just bring back the daily goes right through it. They're all overlapping. So this has some good indication that price may push out of here, all right? But the thing is, you see how price stabbed into here and then push up. Why would it do that? Why would it do that? Why wouldn't it just push hard through it? Because it's already been tested here. This is a tested fair value gap. It weakens every time it gets tested. It was tested here, and then we have this weak reaction to it. Yes, price delves deeper into it, and we took out this low here. We what do you call it? Swept through it for sell side liquidity, and you see how price reacted bullishly for a moment in the near term, but in the longer term, it came back down. It rejected from this order block here. All right, price traded back up towards it again, but we'll see what the new candle prints will give us, because if price does come back and take out this swing high here, if it does take out this swing high, I'm looking at this bearish fair value gap to hold and to push price back down. All right, price could very well uh, continue to be bullish from here. All right, down to these levels. So I'm watching this very carefully, and I don't want to jump into anything, but it does look bearish. It does look bearish. And again, if it comes back up here, I'm thinking it's going to go back down here. You understand? All right. Let's look at the next one, which is uh, the NASDAQ. NASDAQ in a very similar situation, but I want you to see the difference. All right. One is weaker than the other. See this candle here? This was Monday's candle. Okay, look where price is in relation to Monday's candle. We're almost at the low of it. You know, Friday almost closed at the very low of it. It did close past the open. You understand? All right. Now look at the S&P. This is the same candle, Monday's candle. We're at the midpoint. You understand? So if I'm going to look for shorts, I'm going to probably take the NASDAQ first because it's weaker. All right. And I would take that short down to this bullish fair value gap here. All right. On the daily. Right now, I got the 4 hour showing. I don't know why. All right. And I got too many things going on here. Let's get that one out of here. Okay. Now, what I like about this is on NQ. I don't know why it's showing that way. I don't know why it's showing this way, but you can see price came down further down. There is no fair value gap here, like as or like on the S&P. The fair value gap will be here, but it's already filled. It's already filled it. Really, it's already filled it. It looks like it's going to fail. That's why I don't have it highlighted. All right, and I would take a short from here down to here because there's plenty of profit to get. All right, I would look for prices to for price to give me a signature to say, hey, I'm coming down. All right, if price comes back up with the Monday open or with the Monday's candle, I would be looking to take it down. I would be looking to take a short from it. Okay, if we go down to the 4 hour, we may get some more details. You can see I don't understand why I got all of this here. I don't understand. All right, this one goes down in the daily. Just don't get it. Sorry. All right, so we have a fair value gap here, just like on the S&P, and you see the swing low comes through it. That's a pretty strong overlapping confluence there. So if price comes back up into this bearish fair value gap, I'm looking for it to come down lower. You understand? And where is it going to come lower to? The bullish fair value gap on the daily chart here. We'll probably take these lows out. This looks like inducement here. Price could come on down, sweep these lows, and rebalance this imbalance. Okay. Let's move on. We got the Dow. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the Dow because Dow is the ridiculous sister. You got two sisters, and then you got the one that's just unagreeable. All right, so you see the swing low here. Price tries to get back up higher, past the high. It does not make it. That makes this a swing failure. That makes the low a weak low because it didn't create a new high. So when price comes down, doesn't take the low, it starts to move sideways here. All right, then you see the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday candles. It was a bullish week. We took out the swing highs of the consolidation, but we only sweat them. We didn't trade through them. I'm looking for price to tag in and then turn back down. Why do I have the fibs here? Because you can see that in this trading range, all right, price pushed down. We have an OTE right around the 618, the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement. All right, right, y'all. And this is the area that we look for support to come in, and it just so happens to align with the bearish fair value gap. So I'm looking with those confluences in mind. I'm looking for price to come down to here, take out that swing low, and then head towards this one, and then that one afterwards. Does that make sense? I hope it does. All right, let's go to the next one. DAX. DAX is kind of obvious. All right. DAX is going to wait to see what happens with the other ones. That's what DAX is going to. The other indices, DAX is going to make a high, a higher low, a higher high, and we're looking for the higher low to happen. If the higher low doesn't happen, because this low is pretty strong, why? Because it made a new high. You know, when price comes down to test it, I'm looking for it to hold right about here. I'm looking for it to hold, and then price shooting back up. That's what I'm looking for. All right. And right now, what is price doing? Chopping away. We had a bullish candle on Thursday and then a sharp turn on Friday. All right. We did not take out the low of the previous day. So what am I expecting? I'm expecting price to turn bearish. I'm looking for this as the draw on liquidity, the swing low. All right. If price does open at this close, if price does open at this close on Monday and stings back into this untested bearish fair value gap, I'm looking for price to turn around and come back down and turn bearish and head towards that swing low as the draw on liquidity. That's what I'm looking for. That makes sense. I hope it does. Seems reasonable to me. All right. The next one is oil. Now, oil is going to be very important to me. Why? Because I'm going to show you. Look at this. What we have here is a series of candles moving up, and then we overtake those candles, forming an order block. All right. The order block fails. Got it? The order block fails. What does it turn into? That's right, a bullish breaker. So I'm waiting for price to come down back into this breaker. Yes, we have fair value gaps in here that show bullish structure, shows price has an intent to go higher, right? And because it broke the this bearish order block, turned into a bullish breaker. We're just waiting for price to come back into this so that it could continue higher. All right, this is a daily unicorn. That's what this is. I'm looking for just that. Okay, waiting for it to come back down. All right, if we go to the 4-hour, I just want you to see some more detail. Price has formed a bearish fair value gap. I'm looking for price to perhaps sting into that fair value gap and then come down, sweeping these relative equal lows into this bullish fair value gap, which is overlapped, which is the order block is what left that fair value gap. So I'm waiting, and it's an unmitigated order block. So I'm waiting for price to come back and test this and then continue higher. We'll see what the reaction is when it gets here, but I'm definitely looking to take a short, to take a proper sell setup. Okay, that makes sense. We're going to gold. not a whole lot to say on gold because you see how it's been kind of what is going on. You see how it's been kind of wishy-washy, moving sideways, right? And then we're in the middle of this range. I don't like playing in the middle of ranges. However, all right, you can see price has formed a very uh, it's a big order block, right? Really, the order block starts here, and this is the area of full fair value, right? And come on, what are we doing there? Okay, there you go. All right, and prices traded up into this area to the extreme of the order block and respected it and formed a bearish engulfer in relative to the previous candle, the previous daily candle. So I'm looking for follow through. I'm looking for follow through. I'm looking for price to come back and test that low with the open, really right here. And that's around what is this level? Come on, man. Give me something. All right, that level is 2033, 2334, right? Eh, that's that'll work, I guess. But I want to put a more precise candle there. If I can get one, if I can just stop being an old fuddy duddy for a second. Yeah, 2345, 2345. I'm looking for price to come back into that 2345 and test it and then come back down. I'm looking for this fair value gap to turn bearish, and it did. I put this out here last week, all right, last weekend, and I'm looking for that as the first target, and this one as the second target. The first target is going to be at 2320. All right. If we go to silver, we have a similar situation. See this order block here? All right, that's what that is. Price traded back into that order block, turn bearish. All right, in and out like railroad tracks. All right, and I'm looking for price to continue. Give me some continuation to that low, which is the swing low. I'm looking for that to happen. You see that we had a bullish fair value gap over here, and prices filled it. So that goes bye bye, and we're going to trade down into here. We're going to trade down into here. All right, this is an area that I'm looking for price to find its support. So we'll see what happens when price gets there. We'll reassess at that time what is happening. Okay, all right. Now that's it. Oh, I didn't realize I was finished. Yeah, that's it. I appreciate you taking the time out to look at my video. So I wish I would have released this yesterday. My bad on that. My apologies. I'll try and get them out on Saturdays as opposed to Sundays, but at least I got it out, and you can check it out before you start taking trades or whatever. You might want to check them out and see. Now I'm going to leave the link for the previous video where I'm going over the US dollar index and the FX pairs. All right, and I'll leave that on the screen, and I want you to trade safely this week, and may profits be upon you.